Hey friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside and our December chat.
December.
It is
Yes, it is.
December. It's
Yes.
crazy. So we have, of course, just officially closed the Retail Garden Center. Saturday was our last day of the 2023 season. But even though I've said this 1,000 times, people still get confused and they think that the retail garden center closing means that there's not going to be any more videos. And that is completely not true. We are still bringing you 5 videos every single week of the year. In fact, this past year, we did 5 a week. We never missed one.
Never missed one. No, we popped them out 5 a week. Stayed very, very consistent. And yeah, so that'll be going on through the winter. And yeah,
Yeah,
these two things are two separate, honestly, two separate businesses in a way. It's gardening with Creekside, and I know that it blends together and our videos all blend together, but they're all, honestly, they're just, we treat them as two separate things that
Right.
we're responsible for.
So right, the Retail
It's
Garden
crazy.
Center is its own, quote, business, and YouTube is a business.
Yeah.
That we, so.
Yeah, so
Yeah, so we've brought you 5 videos every single week. The only days we do not publish a video are Sundays and Tuesdays. So if you're not seeing our videos 5 days a week, make sure that you are subscribed. Hit the subscribe button. It is completely free. And then hit that little bell that turns on the notifications. That just simply means that you're going to get notified every time that we post a video.
yeah, Jenny mentions that, and it's because we consistently see the issue with customers at retail that talk about it.
Well, and online.
Those of you that are talking about it on YouTube, online, in comments.
They're like, oh, it's so good to see you back. Where you been?
Yeah, we've not
I'm
been.
like,
we
I've
have
been here the
just,
whole time.
just like we said, it's five every week of the year. So we've been here the whole time. So I don't know that I understand that. So, but anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're glad you're here.
This video is now being sponsored by gardeningwithcreekside.com. I'm sorry. I had to do that.
My husband's a little chippy, if you don't know.
Yeah.
So explain that.
Yes. So, yeah, we have processed the pre-orders. The pre-orders are now, I mean, folks, you are buying a lot of plants. So if you haven't purchased your plants yet, or your annuals, and it's time to get in the game. We're racking up as fast as we can to grow our products. If we are the grower, when you buy from us, you're buying directly from the grower. It will come in the Proven Winner White Pot directly from the grower. Yeah.
So you can go to the website, gardeningwithcreekside.com, and if you've not already, when you go to the website, you should have a pop-up that'll come up. It depends on if you visited the website before or not, but if not, there's a spot at the top and at the bottom that you can sign up for our email newsletter that goes up roughly about 3 a week, roughly three emails a week.
Yeah.
Yes?
Something like that. Yeah.
I mean, it's not
yeah.
every day. It's in that 3-ish range.
A lot of informational, good stuff in the emails.
It is. And then
Yeah.
also same, you can sign up for text. And if for the first time when you sign up for the email and the text, you will get a coupon code, a one-time coupon code. Now, y'all, technology is smart. You can't sign up and then stop it and then try to sign up again and get another coupon code. And I say that because we've had some some people trying to do that and it doesn't work. It's a one-time code.
Smart. It's smart in a way. It knows when you're switching emails. It knows who you are. So it's just the way it is.
Yeah. But go
So,
ahead and sign up for that.
yeah.
I mean, and be smart, right? I mean, you can get 15 and 20% off a one-time order. So be smart with that. And enjoy it. But go ahead and get your pre-orders in for your annuals and your perennials and then now your shrubs, because we have stopped shipping all plants at this time. And notice what I said, pre-order. Are we going to be shipping annuals and perennials and shrubs to you right now? No, we are not. Do we even have the annuals in our possession in the greenhouse? No, we do not.
Nope.
When you check out of the and you're ordering, right, and you're checking out, it will ask for your grow zone. We do that so that we can ship you your plants according to your grow zone. So just relax. Y'all, we're growers. I am not sending a coleus to Maine in mid-December, right? So we're going to ship it to you when it is appropriate for your growing zone, and that is why we ask for that information. So go ahead and reserve the plants that you know you want, because that way you're guaranteed to get them, and you don't have to worry about that.
I said this a couple porch chats ago. It was that it helps. It's going to help everyone. More pre-orders. It helps gardeners down the road that are not thinking about pre-ordering. So we have stock.
Right.
You know, and because we know we've flown through a good group of plants, and we were able to, you know, reload and that kind of thing. So that's been good for us and customers. So we're excited. I mean, we're excited about all the new plants. I think there was a video I did a couple.
Yeah, we got some questions on that one.
Oh, okay, I'll wait.
Yeah.
I don't know the questions.
He doesn't know the questions. And I will say this, like, I never even thought about this when we talk about the pre-orders. Have all of our local people are like, oh my gosh, should I be pre-ordering? Should I be pre-ordering? No, this is for shipping plants only. If you are our sweet, faithful people who come to the garden center and are purchasing your plants here at the garden center, there is no need to pre-order.
So we
have got you covered.
Yeah, your time is March. So if you're really thinking about, and it's not all of the annuals are ready, but a good number of them are, that is a good time for my local folks. See, this is where
we disagree. I would say April. I'm not going to be getting stuff in, like,
there
certain
are people
things
that come through in March and purchase plants and take them home, take them to their greenhouses and do different things. We have sold a lot of annuals.
No, I agree. But I would say that, March to April. If you're here in March or April and you're a local person, then we've got you covered.
Yeah.
Like, now, if you show up in end of May, early June, July, there's going to be certain things that we're going to say we're sold out of. But if you're local and you're coming in March and April, beginning of May, then you will be just fine. So don't worry on that. Let's see. What else are we talking about?
I don't know. Updates on, just updates production-wise, the new greenhouse. We've talked about that a little bit. We did get the back end of the greenhouse finished out as far as our drainage trench and our utilities trench, and everything worked really nice yesterday in the big rain that we got.
Yep.
So that's going well.
So what do we do? So the garden center is closed for 2 months, roughly. Projected opening day is February the 17th, so that's a Saturday. But so people say, well, what do you do in your time off? What do you do, honey?
I sit back on a lazy boy chair.
Lazy boy chair, and I just bring you, hot coffee and rub your feet all day.
Yes.
So seriously, what do we do?
No, we're getting ready for opening for February 17th. We're always, you've seen all the projects that are going on. There are still, even with Signature Garden, there's things that need to be done there. The greenhouse is priority right now because it will need to be operational by February. We have, like in the greenhouse, for instance, all my greenhouse growers that are watching us, this is a great time for you to start thinking about, do I have broken tables? If you have, concrete or fabric floors or gravel, do you refresh, clean, power scrub? We're going to be power scrubbing the retail greenhouse down here at the garden center to disinfect and be ready, because it's going to be the first greenhouse that gets plants. We have tables that need to be redone. We need stocking done. We need inventory done. I don't even know the whole list.
We have a whole list.
A big list.
We have a whole winter to-do list that's broken down by categories like house garden, signature garden, retail, production, e-commerce, just all.
So it's kind of why, like, when we say we kind of, because it's a natural shutdown for us right now because you're coming up on Christmas, so there's just not much going on in the garden center at Christmas.
No.
So then you have the new year. And then by then, we're a grower, so we're gearing up to grow the plants.
Right, because
So,
our first plants arrive week 3.
yeah, and we can't have distractions with like other things. Not that customers are distractions, but just getting ready for customers or being open or having staff associated with the garden center. We have to have everyone focused on getting the plants ready. I mean, it goes pretty quick when it goes, but it's just that's just a natural time for us through January to kind of get those things ready and be ready to go for the spring. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just a little time. It's not time off. It's just time. It's taking a resource of people that are dedicated to retail and moving them to production.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Yep.
It's simple business practice.
Yep. Use your people where we need them.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
All right, so we're ready to get going on questions?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So, so we're going to answer some common questions that we see on videos. And yes, I am putting on my glasses because I tell you, y'all, you hit 46 and the eyes just start to go. Now I already wear glasses. I wear contacts, but it's the vision. I tell you, I love it.
So,
It's all good. All right. So our first question comes from one of our channel members, Jordan. And so if you are not a channel member, this is something that we have recently just launched. This is something where you subscribe is completely free, right?
Yep.
A member is where you do pay a monthly membership fee. And with that, you get certain benefits. And this is across YouTube channels all over the board. This is not something specific to us. So if you're interested in joining our memberships, you can, on our channel homepage, it says join. You can click right there, and we're going to be adding other benefits to that. So one of the benefits is that channel members, they get their questions answered first.
yeah, we find you.
So because we know
Yes.
who you are, we can search
That's
for
great.
you.
That's what the cool thing about that is. We know who you are, and then
Right.
we can like really relate to you really well. So
Right,
we love
and
that.
also like Jordan, you'll notice by Jordan's name, he has a little sunflower. So for every month that you're a member, your status changes, and so I can tell like a brand new member is a little green leaf, and so he is a sunflower. So that means that he is moving up in the ranks.
He's moving up.
He is moving on up. All right, so, and we're going to kind of jump around a little bit. We're going to keep you on your toes today, okay? And I thought this was an excellent question, Jordan. It says, is the garden shed just for aesthetics or to store items? So, Jordan, honey, that is a perfect
great
question to ask because
Oh, boy.
it is a yes and not yet answer.
It has been all of those things.
Oh my gosh. So originally it was built to be the chicken coop.
Chicken coop.
Yes, but then we didn't get chickens because then we kept having babies. And I was like, I can't take care of anything else. So then it went to storage.
Yeah.
And then we added the a pen off to the side for the dog. Our first German Shepherd, Hope, she was there.
Yeah.
And then we did get chickens.
Yeah.
So then we turned it into the chicken coop, which then gave us the covered area, if you're looking at it to the right. Then we got out of chickens a couple of years ago.
And it's just kind of sat.
And it's kind of
since then.
sat. But the idea is that it will be turned into my garden shed where I can keep, like this time of year, I've got empty containers. I've got empty, urns and hanging baskets, my wrought iron stuff. But we've got to do a little bit of shoring up of
Yeah, we've
the foundation.
debated on and off with that as far as rebuild or renovation. I think we can renovate it, to make it look right and
Yeah.
be functional. There's some things that need to be done, so we just hadn't had time to deal with
It
it.
keeps getting pushed down the totem pole, which is fine.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Thought that was a fun question. Next, talking about our last day at the Retail Garden Center, my backyard science says, so much excitement with the last day. Congratulations on a busy, successful season. We're still looking forward to the off-season videos, which will be
Yep.
lots of fun.
Yep.
Will you be getting any more cool automation gadgets, machines for the business again this year?
Oh, I do. Yes, I have placed that order.
Yes.
They're on their
I was
way.
going to ask. Okay, so do you want to? We can't answer the question without answering the question.
Yeah, we can tell 'em.
Okay,
Go
so tell
ahead.
them.
So it's an extension of conveyor belts. So yes, so we have the 20-foot long takeoff conveyor, which goes to our prodding machine, which is an absolute beast. That thing is so heavy.
It's what, steel?
It's really, yes, it's all steel and it's not meant to move. And
It's supposed to be stationary.
yeah, even though the potting machine is meant to move, so it's just that's been a little bit of a sore spot with that machine as far as that conveyor goes. But anyway, we have some new ones that we found at the Cultivate show that we went to.
Yep, Cultivate in Ohio.
Yeah, so we looked at rapid conveyor. So these, we're getting, I think it's over 110 feet of conveyor with a turn. We're starting with that kit first just to kind of get the
And so what do we use these conveyors for?
So we're going to use the conveyors to move plants, of course, during the production process. Like the takeoff conveyor is only 20 feet into like one production greenhouse that's 72 foot long. So then we can add to that with this conveyor that give us, that we don't have to use carts when we're doing that greenhouse.
Right.
So it will just convey everything right to those locations.
And these are made out of aluminum.
Aluminum, I mean.
So like anybody can pick up a whole and just move them, and there's you can easily disassemble them and move them. So they're very like user friendly and very adaptable.
They're not as wide as the other one, but they don't need to be to carry a little tray. It's
trays
not
or pots.
8 inches or whatever.
Right. And this is very common in greenhouse production. Like conveyors are a staple in greenhouse production.
Yeah, so we'll probably use them somehow in shipping too, but they'll mainly be used for production. And then it's just like, it can be brought out into the field.
Right.
They can lay on the ground. I mean, there's so many things you can do with them.
Yep.
So
that's the fun new gadget being added. And I will say, anyway, lots of fun. So switching topics a little bit here, when I was working in the chicken coop just the other day, I added some hydrangeas and a butterfly bush, and then I showed you some other things that I was doing. One of those was a climbing hydrangea, and I thought this was a great question from Lindy. Lindy said, will you need to prune the climbing hydrangea? And I failed to mention that because we talked about pruning on the other ones. With a climbing hydrangea, you do not prune it. So it is best to plant it where it can grow to its full potential. That's why I put it at the base of an oak tree, because that oak tree hopefully will be there for many, many years to come. But the climbing hydrangeas bloom on old growth, so you want to just leave them alone. Yeah, so it's an old growth bloomer. So excellent question. Thank you for clarifying that question and or that whole topic. And then while I was up there, it is a question, but as I was telling our family this last night, and everybody just kind of laughed. So this comes from Jules, and Jules says, thank you. How do you get Miss B to stay so close to you while working? It is not intentional. I did not train her to stay next to me. We just all joke that she is my furry.
Yeah, dogs do that. I mean, they just make a person.
She is my Velcro, and I am definitely her person. And that isn't, German Shepherds.
Well, they do that.
By the breed, they tend to do that. But she just.
Yeah, she's very much so attached to Jenny.
Yeah. So we did do obedience training when she was a puppy. We both went through that. But that was not part of like me teaching her to come, other than when we hear a car, like a delivery truck or somebody's come into the house that she doesn't know, then I have trained her to come and sit beside me when that person arrives. But other than that, I'm just her person, and she wants to be stuck to my leg.
Which is great and a
blessing and a curse all at the same time.
Woo!
Yeah. Those German Shepherds, she's too smart for her own good sometimes.
Yeah.
Next question came from Cherie Hunter. She said, hello, Jenny. Question. I know you're planting, but can I transplant a hydrangea? I'm in Jacksonville, North Carolina, zone 8A. So absolutely, this is a perfect time if you're going to be transplanting shrubs or especially like more like cool tolerant perennials. It is the time to do it because they are in their dormant growth. And so just obviously whenever we transplant, we want to try to get as much root system as we possibly can. move it to its new home. And if you're in
Yeah.
Jacksonville, you probably shouldn't have to, like you're like us, you don't really have to worry too much about watering in the wintertime, but just make sure it's nice and
Yeah, I would
watered
say
in.
Jacksonville's probably in really good shape. Where it's probably gotten too cold, you know, like up in the mountains and different areas.
Right, so Jacksonville is closer to the coast for those of you that are
Yeah.
not from North Carolina. So it's warmer. They're a tad bit warmer than we are.
Yeah.
So no, you are good to go. Now, this is a question that we get all the time. And even when I was going through pulling questions, I probably saw 6 of this exact same question. But this came from Betty Jo, and she says, we can't get land and sea compost. What would be the
Betty.
next best compost? Because that's a big problem. We faithfully use land and sea. We had tried another compost last year. It did not go well, and we have land and sea is the only commercial compost that I will use because it is the best. I can't tell you a specific brand because sometimes we have found that there are amazing products that are regional. So wherever you
Right.
may be, like say if you're on the East Coast, if you're in the North, if you're on the West Coast, if you're Gulf, wherever you may be, Midwest, it doesn't matter. So my best recommendation would be go to your local garden center and ask them. Not necessarily the big box store, but your local garden
And I would
center.
give a tip on this, and all of them are different, but there are facilities that take in food waste. So it's like grease pits and, human waste, those type of things, and then they take that and then they make into compost. So there is like this massive bulk compost. From my experience
We've experienced it firsthand.
here,
Yes.
not anywhere else. I'm sure there are plenty that do it well, so I'm not
Yeah.
knocking that whole
No.
thing. But this one the pH is always like 8.6, and it's terrible. So I would ask questions about that. Where is this compost? What are the ingredients? What is being used to make this compost? And I would probably just stay away from that. If you can get bulk compost, that's a good way to go. And then bagged products should be, I would say, some of them more consistent.
It's more consistent, but even like the bag products, like it can be very regional.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
why your
Yeah.
local garden center is going to be the absolute best resource information. If you don't have a great local garden center, because I know that can be a problem for some people, you can even go to your agricultural extension agent because every county has one. Every state has an agricultural extension office. So this is you've got one. So reach out to your ag agent, and more than likely they're going to have like a home gardening division, and you can talk with them, and they will. It is a free resource that you pay for with your tax dollars, so you can absolutely go to them and talk to them and be a great resource for you on that.
Yep.
Okay. Purple Queen says when you did your video, when you subbed
okay.
for me, great job, Jerry.
Thank you.
What's your favorite proven winner variety?
Proven winter variety?
Yeah, so like if you had to narrow it down and say this is my favorite plant, I would say variety is a plant, right?
Yeah.
It's not a group, it's a plant. So if you had to say what your favorite variety from proven winners is,
Specific plant?
I'm assuming so.
Yeah. Oh, bless. Well, like I said in the video, I mean, the petunias have always were the first flower that we started growing.
He's definitely a petunia man.
I really enjoy the petunias. At the same time, I do enjoy the super bells because they just produce flowers, and they can hold on to their flowers a little bit better than the petunias, but it's hard for me because sometimes I look at them differently than you do, and then like in the greenhouse, I'll pick them based on their habit,
Okay, so what's your favorite one for your habit?
so.
What's a great one that you love to grow?
Super Bell's Yellow and Super Bell's Tropical Sunrise.
They are gorgeous. You grow some gorgeous baskets.
Yes, and Mini Vista White.
Yeah.
Any of the mini vistas, pretty much. Indigo. You know, I mean, it's you can't just pick one.
See, Purple Queen, it's like asking who's your favorite child.
But I would say, as far as habit goes and ease of growing, the Super Bells and the mini vistas. You know, so once you get into vistas, which they are great plants and awesome plants, you know, they're landscape. They love the landscape.
And you love them in the landscape, but sometimes growing them and keeping them contained is a challenge.
In the basket, yeah,
Yeah.
it's tough.
Yeah. Now ask him who his favorite college football team is, and he can tell you, you know, like that.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, going next to Sandy. Sandy says, things are moving along quite steadily at the new production facility. Question, does water pressure ever become an issue? I'm a bit surprised Jerry's favorites are all annuals.
Bit surprised?
Yes.
Why is that?
I don't know, you have to ask her.
Yeah, I don't, yeah.
Okay, so what about the water pressure? Does
No,
water...
I don't really have, we don't have a problem with water pressure.
Well, but I would disagree with that.
I mean,
If you're running everything at the same time.
well, yes. I mean, that's, yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's an issue. So thinking about though, I mean, so all of our water comes from wells. See, this is Jerry. You know, he's like, is it an issue? No. Next question.
Well, it's not necessarily an issue unless you make it an issue, right?
But baby, but see, and this just comes naturally to him, and he doesn't think that, he thinks everybody thinks like he does, and we don't. Like, our brains do not work like my husband's brain. So we have to then go through and like try to like peel back the onion layers of your brain. So
Yeah, the only time that it starts to become an issue is that you start maxing out for here, like for instance here, like we've talked about many times at the house.
right.
The well is going from here, everything that we have going on here to the retail, and it becomes, we have to watch and make sure our clocks, because we have mini clocks, that they're cycling through.
Right. So
And then
that
none of
is
them are coming on at the same
right,
time.
but that is becoming an issue that we have because we have two wells at Creekside. We have one here
Yeah.
at the house that supplies all the garden, the house itself,
These wells
and
are,
all the garden,
Yeah.
and then everything at the garden center. So the garden center, all those flower beds, everything. So everything here is on the house well, which is an extremely deep, very well protected well as far as our water source. And then at production, there's a whole nother well. So that all runs on one system. The issue in the water pressure is becoming that you can't run systems at the same time. So we're having to coordinate all the different systems to make sure that they run at different times so that you have the appropriate water pressure.
Yeah, then you run into water pressure problems once you start, maxing out the gallons per minute, I think, or something like that, coming out of the well, and what your nozzles are doing, whatever it may be, drip or sprinklers or whatnot.
Gotcha.
But we have good water pressure everywhere.
We do. We have excellent water pressure.
Yeah.
And we have excellent water sources. Like both of these wells are extremely deep. I'll never forget when we built our house 20 years ago when they dug the well. They dug for a long time. They drilled for a long time. And the fellow, when he finally hit water, he was like, y'all are going to have delicious, clean, pure water. And we do.
Yeah, well, I remember sending in water tests to a grower, and he said it was like he said he had never seen such a neutral water source. And it's tight, just a tad bit alkaline. And then, we just hit it with our acid-loving fertilizer just a little bit, and everything's fine.
Yep.
But, yeah.
Next question is from Sally, kind of on that same video. Love the drone footage. Helps put things in perspective. I
Does.
noticed a bulk tank. May I ask what you store in
Oh,
that?
I saw this comment, yeah.
So what I'm assuming she means is the grain bin.
Grain bin,
Yeah.
yeah.
So growing up, my daddy was a hog farmer. So he bred hogs and then sold them as feeder pigs, meaning that they were like in that teenager stage. They weren't full-grown hogs yet. And he farmed all of this land, and so he grew the food for the hogs. And he had where the annex, dry storage, and those 2 greenhouses are now, that was where his main hog facility barn was.
Yeah.
He actually had 2 other much larger grain bins there, and when he got out of hogs, he went ahead and sold those and then just left that small one. So it is empty and has been empty for, I don't know, 25 years. I mean, a long time. So it's just kind of hanging out there.
Yeah, we've just kept it. There's been really no need to take it down.
I have some ideas that I want to recycle it and use it as something fun. We'll see if that happens. But yeah, that was a great question on that one. This is not a question really, but this just made me chuckle. So Irish Maid 17 says, when we do videos, and you're filming me, I don't remember specifically which video this was. It says, anyone else experience the voice of Oz when Jerry began to explain? Because you normally don't talk.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
you just, all of a sudden, you just started talking.
Yeah.
The man behind the camera begins talking.
Yeah.
I just thought that was hilarious. So, do you want to talk about why sometimes you want to be mic'd and sometimes you don't?
I don't know. I don't really I'm fine with it. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, sometimes when I'm working though, when we're trying to get a big project done, I don't want the microphone. I just don't want to deal with it. You know? But other than that, it's fine. But half the time it seems like we're in the mode of getting whatever tour or whatever video that I'm filming you in, videoing you in, and it's not even a thought.
Right.
It just doesn't cross my mind to put it on.
It doesn't. But
Yeah,
the
it does
peoples
help.
do love
I
you
do
when you are
agree.
on the video and when you're talking.
It makes a little more sense sometimes.
It does.
Yep.
It does. All right. So we recently, I guess it was last week, I don't know, time's all coming together now, or 2 weeks ago rather, we planted all of our spring flowering bulbs.
Oh, yes.
I still have 200 left to go. So M Kitchens says, me, when I'm planting bulbs in December, what was I thinking? Why did I order so many bulbs? Me in March/April. These are beautiful. Next year I'm ordering more bulbs. Not the only one.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Can't wait to see the tulip display come spring. Last year was the first year I actually did some color planting of my tulips and they turned out great. This year was my first year to color plant and plan timing of bloom so I can have a longer season of color. I've gone with purples, soft yellows, peaches the last 2 years, but next year I'm thinking for pink and red. Love the smooch blend. See, honey, you are a girl after my own heart because, I mean, I think every gardener that does spring flowering bulbs has that exact sentiment, right? When we're planting, we're like, what were we thinking? These bulbs are multiplying in the bags. And then come the springtime, we're like, oh my gosh, these are gorgeous. And that's then, because you love that annual color, that spring pop of color.
I know. I'm the
just
same
thinking
way.
of you, honey.
Yes, that's good.
But I will say, so she is right on point because I am already, and it goes back to like doing your pre-orders for your annuals. You can never plan ahead too much. Like I've already started planning my bulbs that I'm ordering that I'll be planting a year from now. Because that order comes up. So as soon as Color Blend says that, they're opening up those orders, I want to get my order in as fast as I possibly can. So I'm guaranteed to get the bulbs as much as I can because there's crop failures and such like that. But that I can get the colors and the varieties that I want. So I practice what I preach myself and get those orders in as soon as you can.
Yeah.
So it's never too early to start planning.
Never too early.
Anne says, everything is looking great. Very therapeutic work in the garden. Is there a basic fertilizer that can be used on perennials, bushes, and plants? Yeah. So I tell people at the garden center, if you're going to buy just one fertilizer to fertilize anything, it would be Plant Tone. So Plant Tone, for me, I call it the Swiss Army knife of fertilizers. It will do everything. It will do annual flowers. It'll do your vegetables. It'll do your perennials. It'll do trees and shrubs. It is a great basic fertilizer. That's why we sell it in big bags here at the nursery. Jerry actually orders me, what are those, 50-pound bags?
Yeah.
50-pound bags of biotone, I mean, not biotone, plant tone, because I will just go through my perennial beds and just put it down. And I personally like to do it coming out of winter, going into spring, because the plants are waking up from dormancy. It'll depend calendar-wise on where you live, but for me, I try to start into February and then throughout March and feeding those plants so that, and I just do it once a year. I don't have time for more than that. The plants don't really need anything more than that. And it's a nice slow release fertilizer. You don't have to worry about burning the plants.
Yeah, I think the question does come up quite a bit, worry about burning things, and that is just not really going to happen that much with that product.
I mean, you'd have to dump an entire bag.
That'd be bad, really bad.
Yeah, you would have to have a major, it's
I think
not like
anything that you think that you're going to do is probably going to be just fine.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, read the instructions on the bag. It'll tell you what, how to apply it.
It does. And it's a good bit.
It is. It's more than you think.
Yep.
It is. But it's that nice, slow release fertilizer that is great. When that question probably came from when Mimi and I were in the cottage garden, Hydrangea Hill, that whole area when we were cleaning up. And then Tina says, can we bottle Mimi's energy up and share goals? And I tell you, it is absolutely true. That woman, she wears me out. And so trying to keep up with her, sometimes I'm like, Mama, you're at a 10. I need you to come down to a 5 for me, because she is a mover and a shaker, and she's so funny. She's like, if I what is it? If I stop moving, I start dying. So she comes from a long line of very strong-willed women that work very hard, and she's a force to be reckoned with, but I so enjoy having her in the garden. She is an amazing gardener and a huge help and asset to me personally in the garden. Goes with that. Carol Allison says, your mother looks like a wonderful experienced gardener to have and chat freely about all things. Clearly, gardening has kept her in good health. Love the tips of pruning to make a strong plant. Did your mom get some bulbs too? So Mimi does have a beautiful garden. We've done multiple garden tours of her garden. She and I have completely different gardens though, where we built our house in the middle of the field. So we are, 95% full hot all day sun, and we have irrigation. Mimi, who lives just a couple hundred yards from us, is underneath mature pine trees and has no irrigation, so she is dry shade.
Yep.
So I offered her some of the tulip bulbs, which I didn't think she was going to take. And because I know her, and she said, what are they? And she said, are they tulips or are they daffodils? And I said, they're tulips. And she was like, no, I don't want tulips. She said, they're daffodils. I'll take daffodils, because Mimi doesn't want to, quote, waste her time on annual bulbs. So she enjoys the daffodils that come back. So she does. I don't think maybe she did. I think she had ordered some daffodils from somebody else, but she has got plenty of beautiful bulbs that come up in her yard, but she did not do. She's not a tulip girl. So to each their own, right? That's no skin off my nose,
No.
right?
Not at all.
Absolutely. Going back, we had a question about when we were doing the bulbs, and we were talking about that around the fountain, we're going to do the Supertunia Vivid Hoopla Orchid.
Yeah.
So Jennifer asked, hey Jenny, could you tell me a little bit about the vigor of the Hoopla Vivid Orchid Supertunia, maybe in comparison to the Supertunia Bordeaux? Thank you for such an informative video. So the vigor,
I mean, it's comparable to those two, I would think. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like
it's not a Vista at all.
So Bordeaux is sort of average in a way. I mean, it's not an overtaker. So I didn't think the Vivid Orchid was when we grew it.
Right. I would just say it has a moderate vigor, right? It's somewhere in that Bordeaux range. So if you're experienced with the Vistas and the mini Vistas, it's right there in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a nice average, very manageable, And we never pruned ours that were, because we had planted them in mass.
Yeah, whatever.
We never cut them back, and there was never a need to. Yeah, so hopefully that is helpful. But that is the last question for today. Yes.
Last question. There's plenty of Vivid Orchid on gardeningwithcreekside.com for pre-order.
Absolutely, and it's a really fun, beautiful. Really, obviously, we're using it, so it's going to be a beauty.
Yes, it is. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, anything else we need to chit chat about?
No, I do not think so. I think we're in good.
I think we covered everything.
I think we covered everything, and you know, please take a moment and check out the website, gardeningwithcreekside.com, and get your email and text messages, signs up while they're at the highest rate.
And I would say this too. The only thing that we didn't talk about is that how that the online and the retail garden center are two different entities as far as
price, inventory,
specials.
Everything. Two different things.
Two different things. Now, I will say this also as well. It's for annuals only. All the annuals that we're offering at the garden center, we're offering online. We can't say that with the perennials and the shrubs, but for the annuals, because they're annuals, if we have it at the garden center, we have it online. But just please keep in mind that if you order online, then you're going to have specials that are only available to you, right? If you come to the nursery, you're going to have specials that are only available to you at the nursery.
Yep.
Like we just did a promo online that if you ordered X amount, you got a free Creekside hat. We did not do that at the garden center. So y'all, there's give and take, right? There's benefits to ordering online, and there's benefits to being able to come here at the nursery. Don't get your britches in a wad. It's all right. Like, just settle down, people, right? That's just life. You got to have a little give and take. So,
yep.
Yeah, two separate.
And we try to clarify as much as we can, but it's just not always possible. We try our best, but it's not always possible.
Right.
And you just have to accept when we say that, no, that code cannot be used. It can't. It just cannot be used at the retail. It's not the website.
Right.
So the codes are only meant for the website.
Right. Online sales are online sales, and retail garden center or retail garden center.
But we just thought maybe we should clarify that.
Right. Yeah. You can never over communicate. All right, my friends. As always, thanks so much for gardening with Creekside. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you in the next video, which is just coming out in a couple of days. So we'll see you then. Bye, friends.